Okay, on to a new video. We are we're gonna I got an area here that used to be an old porch here behind the house, and underneath it was a bunch of gravel. So we pulled all the gravel out of it, and then I've put a bunch of clay dirt in to bring everything back up to ground level. And then I'm gonna take this gravel and put back over it, and then this is where the building with the generator is going to go. It's going to go right here in this corner. It's going to take up most of this corner, but that's fine. That way the wind shear up here will not affect it any, because of it being right there in the corner. The wind won't bother it any. I'll just have to make sure the top is strapped down. But other than that, we're gonna just do this. I've pretty much got all the clay dirt packed in here. I had a dump truck quite a few months ago bring 20 ton of this clay dirt. It was supposed to only be dirt, but it had a lot of rock in it too, so I kind of got to rake it around, pick it out, move some of the rock, and then bring it back. And apparently the ducks are wanting fed because they're screaming. Uh-oh, here they all come. They went up to the chicken coop, checking out to see if there was anything to eat. And now they're going to come back down here to their little pond down here that they love swimming in. And then when it's time to eat, then they'll go back up there and they'll get locked up for the night, along with all the chickens and guineas. There's all the guineas. But this is the back side of the house. Like I said, there's the garage where most of this has been going on. And got a couple old buildings down here. The one there in the background is it's got a bunch of wood in it and wire and stuff. And I need to get it tore down, because every year it leans more and more and it's getting ready to fall down. But and that little building looks terrible, but hey, it's watertight. It's on a concrete pad. Got a bunch of junk stored in it too. But this is the back side of the house. We got a deck back here that's getting ready to get tore down too, because it's all getting ready to get redone. The little pergola area and all that stuff's going to get redone. But those are jobs for another day. And oh yeah, by the way, let's see if I can zoom in here. Still down there. Yeah. Can't get an answer from nobody through Ripa. So until I get an answer, I'm just going to keep bashing them on here. And then maybe one day they'll eventually respond, since they won't answer a phone, they won't answer an email, and it's sitting down there with 0.9 hours on it, and it's waiting on parts to come from China. And I get told, oh, well, they're probably in our next container coming from China. Oh, well, that's great. So that means I got another month to wait while it's coming over. Great. What I always wanted to hear. By the time I get parts for it, we'll be 4 foot deep in snow and I won't be able to do anything. Alright, so I'm going to start moving some of this gravel and putting it over here, and we'll get it all leveled out. Alright, it's building moving day. Got it strapped to my bucket. I just run one strap all the way around it just to hold it in place, and then I've got 2 straps that go across it to pick up on this side, and they're strapped all the way across the top and then back down to my hooks that's on my bucket. And it's there. It ain't going nowhere, and it's not real heavy. I mean, 2 people could pick it up and move it if you wanted to, but I'm doing this all by myself, so I'm gonna use my tractor. All right, we'll get it in place in just a second. All right, here it is in place. It's like I said, it wasn't too hard to get back here, but I'm gonna have to do a little leveling don't need to be real level. I ain't too worried about the leveling part. But what it does come with, let's see, there we go. Stake holes in each corner so that you can stake it down. I'll get some stakes, get it staked down, and then we can go from there. But I'm gonna go get the generator now and bring it around here. Apparently my guineas want it in the yard. Good thing the dogs ain't out here. The dogs like playing with them, and they don't play good. All right, got the generator in there. Wasn't too bad. Had to ask my wife for a little bit of help, because instead of bending that bottom lip, I picked it up and she held up on the front of it, so then you don't bend the lip. It's not exactly straight in there, or the lip is not all the way on the ground. I was thinking about putting it on some lumber, but then the lumber rots. This has got enough gravel to it, it'll drain, so I won't ever have to worry about standing water in here. But if you all know, lumber rots regardless, so I didn't put any lumber under it. I'm just gonna stake it straight to the ground. All right, so now we're gonna start running some propane line. Gotta run some copper. I'll run it around the side of the house, and then it's got to run all the way up there to right behind my heat pumps. My tank's right there, so I got a 500-gallon tank, so I got plenty of propane. I'm just going to run copper line, bury it all the way, and then all the way over there to it. I should have plenty of copper line, but we'll get that buried. I'll show y'all how to do that. And it really ain't got to be, because it's right against the house, so it ain't really got to be that deep. I'm only going to put it probably about 6 inches deep. Just keep from string trimming it or mowing it or anything. And then if it was anywhere else, like under a driveway or something, it's got to be 18 inches or more. And then if you're putting it under a driveway, you got to have it in conduit. So yeah, we ain't doing none of that. It's just going around the corner of the house and over to the generator. All right. Let me get all my stuff gathered up, and then we'll get back to it. Alright, got the copper run here. Like I said, it ain't got to be very deep. It's going to run up here. I've got an old existing line that I removed, but it's still in the ground there because it went underneath the heat pump. I added a lot bigger line when I was adding other stuff so that it had more volume. Well, I'm going to take that smaller line, I think it's 3/8, and connect it to this line, and then come over here all the way to the generator. Like I said, I mean, it just has to be in the ground, or you can run it. I mean, I could have run it up there along the top edge and run it down, but it really doesn't matter. As long as you ain't running over it, then it ain't got to be so deep in the ground. If it's somewhere you're going to run over it, then you don't want it to be in the ground. Zeusser, what's wrong with you? I wish you'd get out of the dirt. Him and his sister, who's over there somewhere, as soon as they see fresh dirt, they like to dig. So I'm trying to get this done without them digging it back up. But I'm gonna have to figure out what fittings all I need, and then I'll have to get them from work. I don't have them because I need a couple shut-offs, a couple adapters. I need a T out there at the tank to tee off from the first stage regulator into both those lines that come down the side of it. The black one is the old line, the green one is the new line, and it runs to that regulator there. Well, that black one will just be, it'll run over here, connect into this line, come all the way around, and then like I showed you in one of the earlier videos, the generator has its own regulator built onto it, so I'll just have to tap into that. I'll put a shut off and everything, and a flex line to it, so that if it does need to be moved, all you have to do is shut it off and unhook that flex line, and then you can move it. But that's it for now. All right, so this is the follow-up on the first part that I did about the generator install. I've got it all installed now, checked everything, make sure it was all running. I bought a 50 amp RV cord, 30 feet. It has just a connection, this connection on this end, just this connection. It's kind of like a dryer connection pretty much, and I've got it run out and into the house all the way to the breaker box. And then I also run a 110 outlet out here. This is to keep your generator battery charged while it's in standby mode. I'm gonna just leave it standby mode. That way we can just hit the start button in the house and run it. But that's just how it's gonna stay. And then over on this side, I run propane line all the way from the house, or from the tank all the way over here, and then it's run into the regulator that comes on it, and that's what runs it. It's in the building. You do have to have the building completely open while it's running, or the carbon monoxide sensor will shut it off. And ditch is all filled in, the lines run, then it's run all the way up. It goes all the way up there to where the regulator is, but it runs the old line over, and you can see where it's teed in just past the first stage regulator, all the way over to the generator over here. So it's all run off the 500 gallon tank. I've got my whole house that's pretty much runs off of it. What are you doing, Zozo? Pretty much runs off the whole thing, and furnace runs off of it. I've got two wall mount heaters, plus a big 30,000 BTU Empire heater that is in the living room that heats the entire front of the house. But the furnace pretty much takes care of everything. But this is the whole install, and it's all hooked up and it runs. Here, I'll start it, show you it runs. Once it's fully warmed up, then it goes into idle down mode, so it ain't using so much propane. Once you have the power on, then it idles back up. And there you go. That's all it is, and it stays just like that. The standby button is on, and the breaker stays on. If you want to run any of the rest of them, then you can turn the 30 amp on or off, and your 110 plug-ins. Plus you got, I didn't really realize that, you got 2 USB ports you can plug in a phone right here, or anything else you want to charge. Didn't really realize it had that feature. But like I said, I mean, it's never going to have a drop of gas in it if I can help it. That'll just keep everything nice and clean. And then once everything's said and done, you just shut it all up. And there you go. Nice and safe and secure. Keeps it out of the weather, keeps it out of the elements till you need it. And that's, everything's run straight through there. That 50, like I said, that 50 amp cable is, it has the connection on one end, the other end was just bare wire. You can order them either or. You can get connectors on each side, or you can get one that you wire into your breaker box, and that's all I did. Had it wired into my breaker box so that then you can just backfeed it. And that's all you need to do. Zeusser hates birds. And there's a bird flying over. And he don't like it. Which is good. That protects the guineas and the ducks and everything. But that's all we got to do. Alright, so there you go. If you got any questions, just leave a comment, leave a question, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'll get back with you. And if you need any help, then just give me a holler. But that's pretty much the whole install for the generator. If you haven't already, go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave a comment, do whatever. All right, we'll see y'all later.